This is a little sneak peek of the next upcoming month. Changed the name from Paradise Island to Tragedy in Paradise. When you read this story and play through this, you'll see. And we're
Good find. Bingo.
Hey, what's up? Showing off the research shit right now. I'm debating on making this a settlement area. Well, not really. It won't function like a settlement for PlayStation. Or, well, I won't make it do that for anybody. I can't do it. It's PlayStation. I'm gonna have some Brahmin over in here. And this right here is where you come in. You climb up this chain. That's how you jump back in the water down there. The gunners pretty much tucked this over, and they've been kind of stripping the ship. That's the reason why there won't be too much in it. This is basically what the people built over a couple hundred years living out here. So originally this ship was sent out here to research Atlantis, which is over there somewhere. Yeah, I think it's right there where I'm pointing. And then the bombs fell, so, you know, they kind of just never came back in. And then the bottom area down here, you'll be able to build and stuff in here too.
Who? What the?
Resetting threat level.
It's kind of a maze where, you know, not every path is gonna pick you.
Standing down.
That locked.
Sensor alert. Anomaly detected.
Now when you first come in here, don't drop down there.
Sentient life. You are facing a class combat robot.
Because that door down there is locked. You'll just be stuck down there. Hey, Simmel, what's up?
There's no way out of this. Negative sensor read. Weapons area negative contact. Assault class combat robot. Unknown interloper. Reveal yourself immediately. Threat redetected.
Keep firing!
I thought you were playing New Vegas.
Perimeter movement detected. Possible stealth unit in the AO.
She didn't need that leg. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing playing with these guns? Show you guys the new guns. The Atlantean blaster pistol. They're all below me now.
I want this one's head!
Because pretty much all the doors into the cargo area are locked, so you have to work your way down to the 3rd level to to get into the cargo area.
Yourself. You are merely delaying the inevitable.
Fuck, you know that?
Nah, this is some I built in the creation kit.
What the?
Who?
Hey,
Kilo, India, Lima, Lima.
And this area here is more like a maze. Now these guns, you won't have these guns at this point. You'll get these guns out of the locked up area down here. I just laid them out for me to pick up for running through here. You'll be better off with those than with these. These aren't as powerful as the spike rifle or any of those. This is a shortcut here. Oh, there's a guy up there. Because the normal route you would take would be across here, here, and drop down there. Or get lost and fall down there and gotta run around and do it all over again. I may hide one of the guns in here.
Allocating additional power to
This
the
is
sensor.
a fully auto version of this gun too.
And eliminating.
I just haven't got around to making it yet.
let's rock!
Seriously, fuck!
Yeah, that was my first opinion too. I was like, oh my god, this is like, that's why I've been comparing it to like the workshop on steroids with cocaine. It's basically workshop. It's just things are named really weird, and you have like 150,000 items to go through or something to find shit. And once you got the third key, Yeah, I spent about $1,000 building this one. I bought one for about 600, but it had some of the things in it wasn't really up to par. Well, it was up to par for the game and the creation kit, but not for what I wanted. And if I'd bought a computer that had all that stuff in it, I would have paid a couple grand. Here's where you'll find the second key. And I figured, you know, I could have probably built it all myself for about $1,000, or I could have bought the one I bought and then add, and that's what I did. I ended up getting one that had a better video card in it, and so I didn't have to do that much more work. I just had to replace some RAM and other stuff, ensure things run smooth, because in some areas
No way to pick this.
in some areas of the creation kit it gets like really laggy if you don't have a good video card and a lot of RAM. I mean, you can run it with the bare minimum, but you probably shouldn't visit Bunker Hill or downtown. I gotta get rid of that. Yeah, that'll be a good pointer for you, Chaos. Whenever you start building a cell, and you're building everything, because I built all of this completely. In order to get a perspective, I'll drop one of the load screen static items, or one of the people into the area, so it'll help me know my proportions. He's been moved around so much because originally I set him down by the door where I came into the cell, and then as I built everything, I kind of just moved him along to help me keep into my proportions. That's some good stuff there.
Locked tight. Won't be able to pick this.
1 terabyte, 3 hard drive, 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 460 graphics card. You'll want to improve that graphics card. Bare minimum, I wouldn't go anything less than a 7. If you could get the 1050 NIVX 1050, it's much cheaper than the 1080, which is like the best of the best right now. But the 1050 is almost comparable, and it's just a couple $100 cheaper. That's what I ended up, because the computer I originally was going to get was $400, and I ended up going, well, no, I think it had been $500, and then I ended up going with the one I got because it had the 1050 in it, and because I was originally looking at getting the 1080 too. 960, that's a good one too. GTX makes pretty good ones. I myself prefer the NIVX. I mean, hell, they even make mods for Fallout, so that was one reason why I kind of went with that company on the video card. Because I mean, they built theirs specifically for modding Fallout, so I figured, that's a company that's into what I'm into. So, because I got that Vault 1080 mod that they did, that it's only on PC and stuff. I'm sure you guys see videos for it though. That's how I saw it. Yeah, that's the one. Well, what's the pound conversion to dollar? What is that, like $1,000? in American money. See, I can't go back up to the thing and read that. 2 gigs of memory. Yeah, I'd say it's probably worth it. Depends on who you're buying it from. Make sure you got somebody you can take it back to. So if you need to, yeah, it is getting lucky there. It's only 749 pounds. The one you listed there? Yeah, I'd say that's definitely worth it. Because I thought that was the one you were saying was 899 pounds. Yeah, I'd get that and get a video card off the internet, or talk to those, tell them what you want to do. Because, I went in there into the place where I bought my PC, and I had I knew what I wanted. They weren't going to sell me anything I didn't want, because I wanted something specific, and I wasn't going to let them talk me into something different. And then when I told the guy that, well, I'm going to make Fallout mods, he's like, oh, you're going to make Fallout mods? Oh, well, you're going to want this right over here. And then, he was all into Fallout and Fallout mods and stuff, so, I kind of like, okay, well, this guy's going to steer me in the right direction, and everything else in the computer was exactly the same as the one I was going to get, but it just had the better video card. And he was telling me the 1050 is almost as good as the 1080, and I'd save some money there. And yeah, I'd seriously look at, well, before buying it, I'd look at the price you could pay for either the GTX 960 like Chaos has, or the 1050 like I have. I'd talk to them, because most of those people that work in those computer stores and stuff, they're all into computer gaming, and I wouldn't say anything about making it for PlayStation, making mods for PlayStation or anything like that, because some of those PC people they kind of hate consoles. What? Oh, okay. Well, if you got friends and people close to you that can build computers and stuff, hell, I'd talk to them. They might be able to build it for you for a lot cheaper. You can get the parts off the internet. I kind of went the route I went, just being lazy, because that'd been a lot more time and a lot more effort put into doing all this, and I didn't really want to spend that time now at this age. When I was in my 20s, yeah, I would have built my own computer, and before I would have ever bought one. I haven't done any work in here yet. This is going to be the living space for the scientist who him and his family kind of got the place locked up, and the gunners wasn't able to get in here. But in here is where you'll find the weapons, and then some other Atlantean artifacts, as well as story. Here's the Amulet of Truth you need to get into Atlantis. And this key pretty much opens up the rest of the locked doors. back up on the first floor. Because once you drop through that hole in here, there's no way to get back up to the first floor and get back out of the ship. That's why you don't find any gunners up here on this first level. And you only find them down below. Damn. Oh, they're gonna charge you for time. I'll put all the fire on switches if I do turn this into a settlement area where you can build in. Add your own settlers, put shops in here and there. Got a switch over here. Probably in here there'll be fire suppressant switch where you'll hit it and all the fire will go out, so you don't have to have a settlement on fire or have to walk through fire to get through a door. And a little robe I rode over here on disappears when you get out of range of the ship. Look at that crescent moon. Pretty. When you turn around, look back. So. Where did I'm gonna probably get rid of it. It doesn't come back. There it is. Let's wait for daytime. If you have that mod that cleans up the water and makes the water clear, it looks much better out here. I will find out the name of that mod. I downloaded it a long time ago and forgotten the name of it now. But I don't have that on my PC, so when you swim around down here, it's like incredibly dark. I'm fucking trapped in my own building. There we go. Damn. This is the outer portion of the city that's been taken back by the ocean floor. There was too much freaking plant life. I couldn't see anything. That's what the amulet that you get from the ship unlocks. Allows you to get into the upper area of the palace, where all the kings of the world would meet. That's why there's 8 chairs. Represents the king of Atlantis, which was the capital of the world at the time, and then the 8 kings of the 7 kings of the 7 continents. Amulet of Power. This would have been King's Chair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why it's got that and that, or 4 and 8. And then this was the king's personal chamber in here. They managed to get most of the stuff moved out before the flood. That's why most of the city's completely empty. But they weren't able to get the lower chamber cleared out of all of its treasure. So you got plenty of gold and silver. That's it. Amulet of Knowledge. Nice view. I'm still thinking about trying to make a way of, I don't know if this building will come up with it, but finding a way to make this inner ring of the city raise up out of the water. Like these, leave most of it down here, but all this would rise up out of the water, set above the water for a settlement area. Okay, I deleted all that in there. There's the warehouse district. Now the Atlantean weapons, for some reason I can't get them to, I got them all set to take Atlantean ammo. I created ammo, projectiles, everything like that for the guns, but for some reason they keep taking the alien ammo. I'm trying to change that, I plan on making it where there'll be like basically ammo crates, Atlantean ammo crates that you'll find if you search the whole city. You'll find some ammo here and there. You got 2 warehouses to search through there. And you got a bunch of the houses out here. I probably won't have too much. And then I'm going to have some of the story on Atlantean scrolls that you'll also find laying around out here. Here's the dock, inner dock. I'm going to talk to Madrox and Gazarts about doing some updates. Not updates, but plugins. Basically collaborating on making the Mid-Atlantic a much bigger mod. And the reason why the numbers up there are important, or the key, or the things were, if you hit, this is a puzzle box, you hit the wrong buttons, it'll seal up more than, let's see, let's open this one up first. 1 and 5 opens it. All the rest of the buttons will actually close up more. Yeah, I really like the way this turned out. I really wish I could have gotten into Bethesda before I did this, though. I was wanting to do this in the Creation Club. Then I would have had people down that were still living down here. And then the research ship actually would have been a settlement like Diamond City. Yeah. Well, I might be putting in a rebreather, so. Yeah, I was trying to hold off on this, and I was gonna do this. This was my first quest I was gonna add to Paradise Island, where the boat would take you out here, and there was gonna be a barge city, and then a pirate ship kind of thing with the gunners on it, where you were gonna have settlers and stuff you'd talk to and get story and stuff, people to help. You have shops you could shop in and buy ammo for the Atlantean weapons, and then there'd be other swords and axes and war hammers, other melee weapons and stuff added into. Oh, my character's being all racist. Get rid of that jetpack ring. And now I got my crown. I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of the sound. And I don't know if there's a top to this area. So I'm not going to fly any higher than that. Because I may not reset on the ground. Because I originally built this area, it had boundaries where you could only go so far and then fall into nothing. And I got rid of all that, so if I just took off in one direction, I would just keep going. I could just keep going and keep going. And my thinking is that, you know, because like you saw down there with the chairs, you know, there's 8 kings, and these are the crowns that they had. And the one you see Lorenzo Cabot wearing, he's got one of them. Then this is the second one. There will be 6 more that you'll find throughout the mods I got planned for this, the different chapters for this one. As well as there'll be some chapters of 008 that'll expand into this mod as well, because there'll be an enclave oil rig out here in the mid-Atlantic. It wasn't an oil rig because there wasn't any place to get oil. It was just an old oil rig that they converted into a vault and kind of set up a place out here to keep themselves safe. 008 will take you to that, and then there'll be another chapter where you'll use this to get to China and England. I was going to talk to Madrox and Gazarts about seeing if they wanted to use the Mid-Atlantic as an area to build in as well. Not really work on my mods, because, you know, I'll do that myself, but work on just basically expanding out from the Atlantis and the tugboat area, and creating another island or another underwater area to swim in, or whatever they want to do. I think Madrox would be really good for if he wanted to work on some of the other mod ideas that I had, because, you know, we got a similar taste in architecture, and I think because not every one of the 8 cities will look like this. This is basically the palace area. I'm going to be redoing this whole structure over here. I'm not talking about what I built here, but what I built in the mod. I'm not really liking the way that looks down there. The squared. I got some ideas that's gonna make it look a lot nicer. I still got some work to do up here. I haven't gotten that to. And then some more potted plants and things like that. And that one over there will just be up for you to decorate if you want. I'm going to take the gas mask and I'm going to try to make a rebreather out of it. So if you don't have the underwater aqua perk, then to breathe underwater, you'll still be able to use that. Hell, I was trying to think of a way where I can make it where, you know, people probably shouldn't build here because it's cursed. But I don't know how I can make this place, how I can make the place cursed. Oh, did you ever find the power armor in here? Hey, what's up, Mage? There's both of the... That just looks wicked as shit right there.
May as well take a look.
I think both of those together. That's a badass look. Been going so good so far. Got a little bit of work done on the mod. Got it uploaded to make sure everything's working fine on PlayStation. I like the way that turned out. I like my little secret doors. Here's a bathroom area. Wish I had the new 100 monsters loaded up on the PlayStation. I could go show you guys some of that. Might still gotta chase down that glitch issue. Probably have to redo the whole thing though. In Corvega? So I haven't been inside of Corvega. I'm thinking it's something with the game itself, not really my mod, because you know, I went into the mod, looked at everything in the mod in that area. I didn't even mess with anything in that area of the Vault 95, but and it still is messed up there. Yeah, it could be from the update, but I also went into the master file where, you know, it's just the game data and nothing that's been manipulated at all, and it looks exactly the same in that area, so that's cool. Really like the way the top of the boat turned out. Five. He still wears diapers at 5. shouldn't be anybody saying, huh? Everybody should be dead. The fuck is that shit? That makes no sense at all. That shouldn't even be in this cell to begin with. What the heck? This game is buggy. That just does not make any sense. Because this cell is even in the Atlantis world cell. So it should not have any vegetation. This is baffling. So, I mean, in order to have this, you have to have ground underneath it for it to grow out of. There's no ground underneath this. There's no reason why this should even be here. There's nothing for it to grow into. Hell, you go through this floor right here, you just drop into the cell. Let's switch to the other one. Now seeing the guys below me. And there's grass shit in here too. What the fuck?
Who's there?
Oh, I was trying to make his head pop. Dude. Huh. Well, he kept moving. He wouldn't just stand still and let me shoot him. The hell? How can this shit be in here? Hopefully it's not going to be a problem. I mean, that's... I don't even know how I could even possibly fix that. This should not even be possible to even be here. I think it's about all the work I got left to do on this so far. I gotta fix up this area here, because this will be the lab area down here. And then his home, his living space will be up here with his family. quarry to kill. Death claws and quarry. What do you want? And good luck, Sentinel. What's the request? Yeah, I'm working on trying to do streams with my computer. I haven't really done too much in the way of working on that. Because I've been thinking about doing some live streams myself of how to work with the creation kit. Learning what everything is and where everything is pretty much the most difficult part of it. What I kind of do to help me out is I have a text file on my computer on my desktop that whenever I find something while going through the creation kit, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty interesting, I might want to build with that later on. I'll go ahead and copy that and save it to that text file, so then whenever I go to build later on, I'll go through that text file and it'll have all the stuff in there I've found over the time. Yeah, I could probably do that. I'll check into it. Cause some of those, I'll warn you now, they don't give you the right information on purpose, I think. Because like I was saying earlier, some of these people are PC Nazis where, you know, they don't like consoles and they don't really want to be too helpful when it comes to helping people with console mods. And so my first one, that was why, because remember my first one where it fucked up the whole game? That was because some guy on the Nexus talked me into setting the master file, the Fallout 4 master file, as the active file. So whenever I did any changes, I changed the master file itself, which you're not supposed to do that. And I kind of knew that beforehand, but you know, I had just started and he had been doing this stuff for several years, so I kind of took his word. And you know, it didn't fucking do anything but screw up my very first mod and the game. Then when it comes to doing lights and light switches and stuff like that, I'm going to eventually be coming out with a mod. Well, it'll be a mod, but it'll be a modder's resource mod, where you'll have the light switches and the refrigerators that have lights in them, and I'm going to talk to Madrox about putting sliding glass windows and doors and stuff like that into it too, since I don't want to share ideas with other people that aren't my ideas originally. And that may be something that he may want to keep unique to what we do. Well, that's freaking weird. Can't get nowhere doing that though, but I really like swimming around this. It's peaceful. It'll swim through houses, under bridges. Let's see, what's his name? Yeah, I could send you some links to some really good mod people that already have videos up. Final Render, he does some live stream mod builds himself. You could learn some things there from him. And then I think Cursing with Curtis. I actually learned a lot of stuff from that guy, and he's an Australian guy that he's really friendly, really nice guy. I'm trying not to talk bad about anybody in particular, but I would steer clear of Red Rocket myself. That's about all I'll say there on that. I don't think he's deliberately being helpful. I'll send you some stuff on PlayStation privately on that matter, but yeah, he does. Yeah, I think early on, if I would have found his channel a little earlier, it probably would have helped me more than what it has. I mean, because really I kind of just tune in from time to time on his stuff just to see what he's working on. And, yeah, it's not really a matter of learning anything now. It's just a matter of seeing what the competition's up to. And I mean, I know he's another one of the people that's been doing it for a lot longer than me, but I'm the only one that has a Lances, so that means I rule. I mean, this is far cooler than anything I've seen anybody else do. If I get into the Creation Club, I may end up redoing this whole thing here. It'll probably still look a lot like this, but you'll have people that'll still be living down here. And you'll have people living on the research ship, and then I'll separate the gunners from the research ship and just have the research ship be what I originally intended it to be. Originally, I intended it to be Barge City. I didn't plan on it being a research. This is stuff that's growing inside the ship right here. I mean, hell, this stuff is grass, but that was like huge on the ship. And this stuff here, and this requires land, because you can't plant this stuff here. The other stuff, let's see, let's get out of here. Where's that? This other stuff, this is individual plants here that you can plant here. But the stuff sticking up out of the ship is this stuff. which makes no sense because the only way this is planted is in the land. The ooh, swam into there by accident. I mean, so there's no logical reason why that would be there, other than it being Bethesda. Yeah, a lot of the modders out there is like they figure out something, and then they want to keep it to themselves, and that's understandable if you know if it's something that they've actually done the programming and things like that on. I mean, if I looked into Madrox's stuff and found out that he actually did some programming to get his windows and stuff to move the way he did, and the doors and things to move the way he did, I probably wouldn't have messed with trying to copy that, because you know that's work that he's actually put in himself. But all this really is the mechanism that causes the programming that causes elevators to move. That's all that is. So I mean, that's just something in the game where instead of linking it to an elevator to get the elevator to move, you just link it to a door or a wall or a boat or whatever you want to move. So you know, that's just something that's already in the game that, you know, he came across it, and first I had been messing around with trying to figure out how to build elevators myself, but haven't really done too much work into it. Most of my work's been in learning what stuff is, and then taking things and reusing them for different purposes. That's how I got the windows up here on the palace, up here on the side part. That's the door from the lighthouse, because it's got a curved door on the lighthouse. I just took that. That's what this is too. Blew it up to be about the same radius and curvature as the wall, and just fused it into the wall, and then set it on top of the wall, make it look like a window. But if you look close enough, you can still see the handle. And the hinges. I gotta go back from the Mid-Atlantic. I don't think I can get back there in time to save them. Oh, thought I was gonna land on that. Button 1. The other two buttons will say castle and airport docks, but they won't take you there. I made it so that you could only travel between the Mid-Atlantic from Paradise. And you can't fast travel currently in the Mid-Atlantic, but I'm going to change that too. Because I set it up and didn't click that off, and haven't gotten around to clicking it off yet. Hey Madrox, what's up? Here, screw 10 pins. I'll go back out there again. Cool. I'm still leaving the boat. Cool. Yeah, nav meshing is so freaking boring. I hate nav meshing. Thinking about changing the name of the gunners to the Sony gun. Because, yeah, if it wasn't for Sony, this would actually have a settlement up here with people. You'd have a shop here. You'd go, hey, everybody buys some stuff from you. That's it. I got the gunners on here, and they set it on fire. And here's the helmet you get that gives you the ability to fly. Still working on getting rid of the sound. And I've already gone through everything. Here's the below deck. That stuff's still there. Bethesda. This is where you'll enter the cargo areas down here. You have to go through here. It's like kind of a maze. You gotta fight things and you mean the guy up here? This one? I put that in there for whenever I build cells, so I get all my proportions correct. I always drop it. I usually put, let's say I had one up on the deck, I already deleted it. I delete that one. Man, this shit. Yeah, I really hope that does not. You can't watch final render. You have to do a little bit of a jump to get up this. Because whenever I had it level, your head hit there. And didn't want to allow you to get up there. And this vegetation isn't in the mod. I'm not exactly sure what this is here, because there's no logical reason why that should be even in here. There's nothing for it to attach to. And the key you'll find back in here for the first key. That'll get you through the doors. And then door in this door, so you can get back here to this key. And once you get that key, go up here, open this door, go through here, open this door. Come on, go here. And you'll find the key, the first amulet for Atlantis, for the locks of Atlantis. And then you'll find a couple weapons, which are this one here. And where's the other one at? Oh, I just moved back. And then this one here. And I'm probably going to make the below deck down there a build area where you can build in it. The upper deck, I still may do that. Put the fire on a switch so you'll be able to turn them off, so you'll be able to build a quote unquote settlement. Have some Brahmin over here. show you the puzzle box too. Yeah, shit's growing in here too. Let's close it up first. That's how it'll look when you first find it. The wrong buttons will just seal it up more. Cool. Thanks for stopping by. Cool. Can do. Oh, that's not it. Nice. 5 and 6. I already got the helmet out of here though. One of the things I was wanting to talk to you about, Madrox, I was going to talk to you about and Gazarts. If you guys wanted to expand upon this world space here, I basically left the map where it's, you can, first time I loaded this before I put all the water in it, I got on the land that I didn't sink down, and I just took off running and ran for about 20-30 minutes. And it just one straight line, it just kept going and going. And I was thinking, you know, being it's the mid-Atlantic, expand off, you know, off into another area where you'd have to either swim a really long distance to get there, or oh, I got Brommium, let's take that. Speed things up. There could be other mods, other stories, other things that take place out here. I have another 6 chapters I'm going to be adding to this for the Paradise. And and then I have like another 2 chapters of 008 that's going to be in this one as well, because the tugboat, is required for getting to China and getting to England, which will be one chapter itself, and then another chapter there's going to be an oil rig out here, a derelict oil rig that the Enclave set up as another underwater vault. I don't know if there is a limit to how far you can go in this. I turned all that off. And I was thinking this could be turned into a big world. Because everybody keeps trying to build the biggest mods ever. But, you know, how that Capital Wasteland one, that just kind of fell apart. They ran into some legal issues with doing that. That was going to be the biggest mod ever. They're going to remake 3 and put it in 4. And you know, they ended up running into some legal issues with using the audio files, because you know, you get some big actors and stuff that they paid to do those. And I was thinking, you know, we don't need Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Make it the Wasteland 10 years later. You have new characters, any character that might be a copyright issue, or because it didn't really seem like Bethesda was against the idea. It was just they just told the people there's could be some legal issues, and they were just like, okay, well then that's it, we're done. And you know, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be done at all. Yeah, I would, you know, try to reach out and take care of the other legal issues if that's the thing. But you know, I personally don't like the idea of just recreating the same game that we've already played. Hell, I've already put like 4,000 hours into Fallout 3. I probably wouldn't really mess with that mod other than just to get it for some of the things I could use for creating Fallout, make it 10 years later. Well, that's the thing is, they haven't even talked to any of the voice actors or anything. You know, there is a legal gray area there where there could be in some issues, but I mean, if the actors were like okay with it and gave the approval, then it could be done without having to worry about paying them because they've approved for it. I personally think that, you know, they've already been paid for saying those lines. They shouldn't get paid for saying them over and over again. Especially if, you know, the mod's getting put up for free. You know, there is still some legal gray area, and I think they're just trying to be safe and not get themselves in a position where they could be sued into poverty for making something for free. I'm gonna try to reach out to them and tell them, you know, they should just keep going, just forget the old quests and old act characters and expand upon the story, because it seems like Bethesda is working with them on some of it, and Bethesda might be more than happy to sit down with them and tell them how to go along with the story, with, you know, so it stays with the lore, so you can make it 10 years later, or 5 years later, or even 20 years later. Have it take place after this. Or have the sole survivor be the one who's does the quests and stuff in there. Let's see, where am I at on the map? Yeah, I'm swimming south. I just reset at the top of the map. Oh. Maybe that's why I didn't notice that before. Or did I get turned around? Kind of hard to tell if I'm swimming in the same direction. I wasn't really looking at my compass. When you're down here running on this shit, it's kind of easy to run in a straight line. Still a lot of game space though. Even if it is just the same size as the map that we currently have here. I think once get 5, 6, 7, 8 modders modding this one area, I mean, you could have this whole area filled up and end up having a completely new DLC instead of just a mod. Basically be churning out our own DLCs over time. And you know, I was thinking this way here would be a little bit better than, you know, collaborating on a full mod, because then, you know, one person may get done with some things and then have to wait around on the other, whereas this way here, then one person would create the game world and then the other modders will jump into that game world and start like, okay, well, I'll build over here and I'll build some stuff down here, and then everybody picks an area where they'll be doing some building, and you know, and then next thing you know, you got multiple quest lines and multiple search areas, different architecture, different game styles, instead of just one solid thing. I still gotta make it so you can fast travel. Let's hit the Bromium again. Did I fly by already? Or did I get turned around? Yeah, I think fast travel will be essential. Trying to find shit is gonna be impossible. Who's that? Disappears when I go down. I really wish they had a gun you could shoot underwater. I'm gonna look into seeing if I can't do that myself. Archive. Like this. These don't take you nowhere. I didn't link them. I didn't want you to be able to travel to anywhere in the Commonwealth from out here. This will only take you back to Paradise. I was hoping to have this done by this weekend, but I really don't think that'll happen now. It'll probably take me the rest of the day to do the inside of those 2 rooms in the ship. And then I still got a bunch of story to write. I gotta rewrite some of the story on this terminal. I'm gonna leave hers alone. And then I got a bunch of stuff to write for the Atlantean people, and then the people that was here. This one of the 10 king, one of the 8 kings, basically the king of North America. This was his place here. This was their area, and then there'll be here in the Boston area that'll be associated with this eventually as well. And still, I gotta get rid of all this at some point. But the other mods will, basically the crown you see Lorenzo wear, that's from Africa. The only places that won't, Paradise won't take you to. But you will eventually spread out and find the other crowns, the other 6 crowns. So I got a lot of story to write there, explaining how all that come to be. How the Atlantean people, despite being the smallest population, was able to take over the other populations, and how they managed to keep the world from going into a world war. That's what eventually the vertebrate down here will eventually take you to one of those areas. Because the one in South America, I'm not sure if I want to have it in like the Peruvian area, or if I want to have it in the Caribbean area, where if it's in the Caribbean, then this will take you there. But if I want to put it in Peru, then, you know, you're going to have to fly there. So that's why I already have this set in here. And I may end up, the one that you'll find in Europe will be around Ireland, England area. And then the African one's already been found. The Asian one you'll find in China. And that'll all get you there with that boat. Australian will... Douchebags at 10 help. There's the fire.
Oh, what's that?
Shit.
Commonwealth justice for you.
Yeah, I looked through the Nuclear World files. In the roller coaster, that's all one big thing. I was hoping there's going to be a thing where I could change it and make it go different routes. And there's only like basically one roller coaster program, so you can build a roller coaster, but it'll follow the same path that the current one already does. Let's find some monsters to kill. It was originally, instead of the research vessel, I was going to have this. This was going to be what you'd find the people, the settlement on that you needed to help. I don't have any Fallout tats. Yeah, let's go fight these guys. I don't even know if they're still here. I may have beat them already. Test the last year weapons against the monsters. Too overpowered. There it is. Yeah, it might be kind of hard to get that on the PlayStation, though. Well, it's not as overpowered as my other weapons, so I think they're good like that, though. After all, their weapons, they're supposed to be 8,000, 9,000 years old, so. And the NCR still didn't seem good in my eyes. I thought they were just as bad as Legion. I sided with House. What the fuck? How is this shit in here? Seems like it's taking over the outside of the cell too. Yeah. Well, that's new too. What that last update is what's messing everything up. I mean, looking out the window, that's how I intended it to be, but not that stuff. I mean, again, how's that growing where there's no land? Is it still like that? I thought I had that fixed. Nope, apparently not. What the fuck? Shit. Fucking Fallout.